1 o'clock. 1:01 on the dot here. Actually, we're a minute late. Or a minute early. No. 4 minutes early. Exactly, right? 1:05 is the cutoff. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. There we go. Excellent. Hello. Spring has sprung. I'm feeling energized by the weather. Things are starting to bloom, which makes all the difference to me personally. I love seeing the flowers and the trees and everything. God bless the rain. It's made everything green. That is for sure. So we have a busy agenda today, which is very exciting, and I love to see everyone's pink as well for those who are participating in our Spirit Week. So we have, obviously, every day this week have had different events for our staff, and if they participate, they're able to wear work-appropriate jeans. So always a privilege, which is great. And tomorrow is Twin Day. So if you would like to partner up with one of your neighbors or myself, I'd be happy to collaborate, and one of you could be my twin tomorrow.
Do we have to do the work?
Yes, most importantly, yes. I have a whole desk full of items that I need assistance with, so thank you for the clarifying question, Lynn. But first, I'm going to bring Lynn right on up for the resident council update.
First, I apologize, I own nothing pink in my entire, so, I'm sorry. Okay, so as Lindsay said, spring is here, changes are coming, and guess what? We have a new council starting this next month. So first of all, I would like to take a moment to thank Joe Schmidt, and is Bob Faraday here? Okay, well, thank you two for obviously being such active parts of the council. We've appreciated your efforts. We may call on you in the future, you never know. But we do appreciate the time you spent with us, and I know how hard you guys work. So I want to introduce the council members for the coming year. So if you're here and you can stand up or wave or something, that'd be great. We have Jane Peterson. Okay, there she is. Paul Howbrick, back row, if you want to answer any questions. Joanne here, I don't see Joanne here, but you've seen her, you know her. Dennis, is Dennis here? No, Helga's here instead. And you could be my twin, we've talked about this before. Okay, Marilyn John, I don't think she's here. David Hoffman, oh, he's pink in the front row. Carol Eschner. And the new guys, we got John Bonlander. Is he here? He didn't even come. And Guy Johnson, is he here to wave or do something, or? Where is he? No. All right, that shows you the real commitment of the real members of the council. The other thing I'd like to mention real briefly is for those of you who signed up on that sheet in the library to help with gardening this summer, planting or watering or weeding, we're going to meet right after State of the Castle, so 2:30, however long it takes, down in the Creativity Center. Just come down and look for Joe. Or if you're just curious about it and you didn't sign up and you think you might want to help. And Lindsay, you're welcome to come down and work. I don't have anything else from the council, but we have welcomed the new people on board, and we'll try to represent you all. Remember, you can come and sit at a meeting if you'd like to see what we do, or if you have something you need to talk to us about, stop one of us in the hall. Joe?
Explain why there wasn't a
Oh, I'm sorry. This is like the election before last. There was no real election because we had nominees just enough to fill the positions that were going to be empty. So the same thing happened the first year I ran for council. But anyway, that's why there was no real election. We didn't just like appoint these two people. They volunteered, so it was unanimous. Okay, okay, thank you, okay.
Forgot to say Teresa's next.
Oh, well, that's what I'm here for, Teresa. Next up, I have the esteemed pleasure to introduce Teresa Jenkins on her 30 years of service here. She'll pay for that later.
Yeah.
So, hi everyone. I'm here to discuss two, not issues, but concerns. So, first one is PSP. What is a PSP? It is a personal service provider. Well, what does that mean? That means if you, residents, hire someone from the outside to come into the community to do some work for you, walk your dog, you want your own housekeeper, you got a caregiver, you have your own beautician that you've had for the past 20 years, you can't imagine getting rid of her. Well, if that person comes into the community, there is paperwork that needs to be filled out. And that paperwork is funneled through me. And one of the things that they have to fill out is a background check. We need to know who's coming into the building. We don't want to just have any willy-nilly off the street working with residents that we're not aware of. So, moving forward, if you hire someone, I need to be made aware so that I can make sure we get that person vetted and we know who's coming into the community. They need to be signing in, signing out, in that whole process. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions about the PSP? Have you heard of the PSP?
Yes.
Okay.
Now we have.
Now we have. You're up to date. My next question. Will we have a COVID clinic in the spring? No, we will not. But we will have one in the fall. So the COVID, flu, RSV clinics are normally late September, early October every year. North Shore Pharmacy takes care of that for us. So information about that will come out closer to the fall. Any questions? Short and sweet. All right, thank you.
You didn't announce me.
Oh, wow. Wow, it's all about you.
Here's Jennifer from HR, one and only.
Thank you for that forced introduction. I am Jen. I am the HR director, and I'm going to come up here for a little bit and just kind of go through our Alzheimer's campaign with everyone. Last year, do you guys remember how much we raised between the employees and the residents? I hear it. What was that?
18.
15. Little over $15,000 we raised in our campaign last year between all of the employees and the residents. This year we're going to kick off our campaign in our 2 months of May and June. We have some, I'm too short. We have new events we're going to try this year with our employees and our residents. One of them is going to be a clothing online store. And you can also get drinkware. So you can do all of that and then it'll get shipped directly to your house. So a new way of raising some money. And then we are going to do a display of a memory wall. So if you want to recognize and remember someone that has Alzheimer's or had Alzheimer's, you'll be able to put that up, and then all of our employees and residents will all be able to have their pictures up of anyone that you want to post. So some new things that we're going to be trying. I'm very excited. We're going to bring back that lovely silent auction that we did last year. We had a lot of positive feedback with that. We are actively working with potential sponsors to collaborate with the community for funding our event this year. So to have those sponsors that will help us with the employee labor, the food, the drinks, the entertainment. So we are actively working on that currently today. Our silent auction will be Tuesday, June 30th from 4 to 7 p.m. And we're going to do the same thing we did last year. Wear that lovely purple. I am seeing a lot of pink in this room today, and I'm loving it for our Spirit Day. And I know that we have a lot of individuals that came in purple for the event last year. So looking forward to seeing everyone for that. If you flip over to the back side of the page, everything I'm basically talking about is also on there for you as well. And then you'll see that there are different times that we're going to be selling those tickets just like we did last year. So at those happy hours, different events that you guys have before and after State of the Castles, we'll have the ability to purchase those cash, card, check, and we did verify we could do the room charges again this year that we did last year as well. So really looking forward to that. And then I'm going to have Amanda from our Alzheimer's Association. She is our representative. This is going to give a little bit of a high-level overview to Alzheimer's. We're going to have to really change this microphone for you, though. So, yeah, just a little. Like maybe there. I don't know.
That's still in between,
I
sorry.
think that should, well,
We know how to get higher.
maybe I'll just go closer.
There you go.
Hi. Okay, this works. Hello, everybody. I'm Amanda Armstrong from the Alzheimer's Association. I recognize tons of faces from being here last year and giving you speaking at the State of the Castle as well as the Purple event, so thank you. I heard you guys had questions about where to send funds that you would like to donate to the Alzheimer's Association. What's the difference between all of the different mailings that you get? So I'm going to answer a little bit of that to you. So, the Alzheimer's Association is the largest nonprofit funder of Alzheimer's research in the entire world. We are also the largest organization that does what we do in the world. So I recommend, out of all of the other Alzheimer's nonprofit organizations, to fund the Alzheimer's Association. I am obviously biased. However, there's a lot of good data coming from where I'm speaking. So how to know which one is which? So if you can remember, AA, it's double A, it's the beginning of the alphabet, Alzheimer's Association. That would be the one you'd want to donate to if you're looking to support the same Alzheimer's Association that East Castle Place does for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Also, our local chapter here is in Milwaukee, and we have tons of other chapters across the state. So another fun fact that I wanted to share with you guys is our logo. It's terribly drawn, but you'll get the idea. I left the sheet of paper on the printer. So it usually says Alzheimer's Association on either side of this logo. So this is our brain and beaker logo because we believe in helping the human and pushing forward science. So this is the head of the person that holds the brain, obviously. And then this is a beaker like you use in science class, or if you're actually a scientist. So that is our logo for the Alzheimer's Association because we believe in serving both. I am aware that there are Alzheimer's foundations, there's the Alzheimer's Society. I am unaware of anything that they do or where they're located out of. The Alzheimer's Association is who East Castle Place is partnered with to put their fundraising dollars towards. So I'm sure you guys receive tons of mailings. There is a difference between supporting, there isn't, but there is. It's like the most minute difference. Supporting the Alzheimer's Association is only different than supporting the Walk to End Alzheimer's because East Castle Place will receive a pat on the back, a big old hug from me, from the Alzheimer's Association when you donate directly to the Walk to End Alzheimer's because it's trackable. So you guys have a thermometer on your walk page that shows how much you've raised and what your goal is, and it even can show individual donations of like names of people that have donated to the walk. When you donate to the Alzheimer's Association umbrella, it still's funding everything, just like it is at the walk. It doesn't get lost. It's just not as prominent that resident of East Castle Place is supporting the Alzheimer's Association. It's harder for me to find. Does that make sense? So the walk, it stays local, it's easier to find, it's something that East Castle Place then can be like, oh, thanks Bob, you were able to donate $20, that means a lot. We still appreciate, obviously, funds that go to the Alzheimer's Association, because it all goes to the same place in the end, it's just more about finding which is which. Are there any questions about that? Okay.
Well, the envelope with Alzheimer's research on it is somebody else.
Somebody else. An envelope with Alzheimer's research on it is somebody else because we wouldn't delineate that specifically. So I just to quickly recap I spoke about this a couple years ago, but so 78% of the funds we receive at the Alzheimer's Association through WALK, through any of our other events, just general donations, goes back to support our mission. Of that 79%, so of that pie piece, we split that up into two other pie pieces. So 60% of that pie piece goes back to support all of our local programming, all of our support groups, care consultations, our 800 number that's staffed 24/7 by master level social workers, all of that, we're creating apps for caregivers and people living with the disease, all of that good stuff, so it all stays free. And then the remaining 40% of that pie slice goes back to funding research across the globe. So that's why specifically, yeah, just Alzheimer's Association. Yeah, good question. Any others? Yes.
How do we get our purple t-shirt?
Oh, purple t-shirts. So that I can work with Jen on getting, because you guys do bulk fundraising through your gala. So we can make sure to get people's names and what t-shirt sizes you wear, because you guys all have earned one with the amount of money we assume and hope you will raise compared to last year. So those will probably arrive, I'd say like 2 to 3 weeks before Walk Day, which is October. So Walk Day is Saturday, October 3rd. So 2 to 3 weeks before then, I will make sure to drop them off. Perfect.
Then you won't have to hand deliver it to me this year.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your support.
Thank you. Hi. It's like so high, my gosh. High five one, Jen. Okay. So we will have communication going out on all of your door ledges like we did last year. That'll go out the first day of May. And then we will work with our committee for the elevator postings as well. So you will be informed of everything that is taking place over these next 2 months. Any questions when it comes to any of the campaign that we're just doing a high-level overview today? Okay. All right, well then we will move on to Mr. Eric. He has just, a couple questions here today.
Thank you, Jen. Some of them are self-induced, and I did shave finally. Yeah.
Awesome.
Doesn't hurt. So I'll go ahead through some updates, and then I will take the questions that were submitted. So first, the elevator shutdown. Thank you for everyone's patience. I know that's a major inconvenience sometimes with those elevators shut down, but it is for a good reason. We'd rather have the elevator down for a week rather than 8 weeks. For those of the folks that are here that live in Lake Terrace, right when the building opened up, we moved in, elevator, I think that was E, went down, which was the larger of the two, which is really, really troublesome. But when those door operators, the ones that open the doors and close them, when those go bad, I don't know why necessarily, but it's a substantial time to wait to get those parts. So those operators are obsolete. So if anything were to happen to them, it's going to be 8 weeks of service down until we get it back up. So we wanted to be proactive, make sure we got those operators replaced amongst some other items. We just want to keep them running, and that way the parts are available and they can service them the way they need to be. So again, just to remind everyone, elevator C is Wednesday, yesterday, through next Wednesday. I can't keep it back. The elevator company is running a little bit ahead of schedule, so we'll wait to see what that looks like. That's the best they can tell me. But they looked anxious that things went very well. And they will start elevator D next week, Thursday. And that one apparently is a bit more work, so that one probably will be right to the week. So, a couple other updates: outdoor spring furniture, and then kind of a planting schedule. I had talked to Josh and Lindsay this year. I'm going to send out an email probably by tomorrow that details just some of the common questions that we get every year. Like, when's the furniture going out? When's the planting going in? Different things that are going on. Figure we generally have those forecasted as to when we want to take care of them. But we're going to go ahead and just put those in the mailing. I'll send it out to you. They're usually roughly due dates for us. As an example, for me, it's always getting the patio furniture before Mother's Day. Well, it's getting nice out, so Josh started opening it up today. We noticed it's going to stay consistently nice, so we're trying to get all the furniture out. And then umbrellas will probably be out tomorrow so that we're set up for the season. Glad we waited a week and didn't put them out when the tornadoes were around. That would have been a big problem. So there will be a memo going out tomorrow that will kind of capture some of those things. Next one, exterior lighting repairs. We have a number of light poles and some ground lights that are having some problems. So Rowan Electric walkthrough finally got their proposal. They're going to come out by the end of next week. We had to wait a week. One of their master electricians was on vacation, and he's our primary electrician, so he knows a lot of our equipment is, buried cables, things like that. So they'll be out next week. We'll wrap all those up. I did throw air conditioner maintenance and startup because we are about that season, so we are kind of targeting that for next month. It'll probably be before our next meeting. We'll be taking care of coordinating going through your apartments. Again, that one's probably about a week long, and we'll be going through North Point Terrace, Historic Terrace, and Lake Terrace as well, just to make sure that all your equipment is gonna stay up and running for the duration of the season to the best of our ability. Probably a bit more work in Historic Terrace this year. We're gonna spend a bit more time in the initial walkthrough. We'll be going through to check the equipment, identify some opportunities, whereas we'll probably be coming back to replace preemptively some of those valves that open and close and generally fail for you in the middle of the season. So we're gonna try to stay a little more proactive on that this year. That's it for my updates. I did have one more. I don't have a hard scheduled date yet, and it won't affect you here in Independent Living, but I just thought I'd make you aware because it will affect Bradford Terrace. But we're going to be scheduling a emergency power loss drill. I was trying to squeak it in April, but I thought it best to push it off with the elevator stuff going on. Don't need to complicate things. So I'll push it off a little bit into May, but we're specifically going to be shutting the general power down in Bradford Terrace to identify how a loss of power looks like, identify where we need to add more emergency power outlets, sources, things like that, just to be ahead of the problems. So, again, should last for no more than about 30 minutes. We just want to walk through, make sure everything that should be working is working, and identify things that we thought may have been on the power grid that are not. You do have an emergency generator out back. On to the questions. Is there an overall landscaping plan for our property? That piece, yes, there is. It does change from year to year depending kind of what needs to take place, more so than others. As an example of that, we noticed last year we had the underground garage ramped off to the right side. We're getting problems with dirt washing in. The plantings are going to get updated, so that was included in this year's budget, along with the front of Lake Terrace that we talked about last year. So the front of Lake Terrace will get a facelift as well. We're anticipating that sometime after Mother's Day, probably within the first 2 weeks thereafter. So about mid-May, we'll see a facelift going on with those, and then we'll take care of some of the annual plantings as well. Second part of that question, is there any way within that plan that we can have some of the plants grow a bit wilder and hold off on pruning? I would say if again, lots of residents have different ideas of how they want to approach gardening. I would encourage you, there's a garden committee is probably always the best way to be involved. I do try to work hand in hand with them as we have a meeting at 2:30. Just to understand what some of the needs are, the wants are, and we try to incorporate those. So again, I encourage you, that's probably the group you want to be with if you want to have more of an impact in the planning and what's going on outside as to what's facility beds, what's resident beds, what gets planted where, concerns, thoughts. We want to make sure we include those. Sometimes it just depends when it lands. So if I get a concern brought to me in July about planting, sometimes we're past the install portion of the season, but we do take note of that and we try to incorporate it next year. I got a lot of requests, I suppose it was about a year ago now, to include more tulips, daffodils, things like that, some springtime flowers. We've incorporated a lot of that in the plans that are going into the front of Lake Terrace. We want to be open-minded to what fits. Again, it's not going to be wild areas, it's going to be contained planting beds that are meant for daffodils and tulips, but again, we want to incorporate some of those things where we can, but still keeping with what we have in the property. We don't try to go too far off base and plant something that isn't native to here or isn't native to our property. We want to make sure it looks cohesive and doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. Hope that answers that. Last, when will the porches and balconies be power washed? It's kind of to be determined right now. I apologize I don't have that sooner. If you do have a balcony or portions to be washed, there are a few. Please just give me a work order and I'll attend to that one individually. The reason I say that one's to be determined is because we are going to do a little bit more washing and staining later this year. So I want to kind of couple those two together so that the porches are washed and the staining for the decks is redone as well. So more, you have to wait on that one for a bit more information. I apologize, but if you have one, I know as an example, some of the folks on the first floor have concrete patios. Those won't be sealed. So if there's something there, just give me a work order and we'll attend to that right away. And then lastly, when will the windows be cleaned inside? We changed contractors this year. We're going with Crystal View, or I think it's Crystal Vista, excuse me. They did some of the window washing on a few particular windows that were missed during last year's window washing. At the end of the season, we caught those. So we gave them a shot, tried them out, they did a nice job, they were prompt, they did some quality work. So they'll have the contract this year, but that probably won't be till June. We're a little bit later on the schedule as we couldn't get in any earlier because they already have clients booked. So they're a little bit bigger organization, they'll have more crews on site. We'll have to kind of work through the process a little bit, so with different groups. As we talk through the process, they'll have an interior team and an exterior team. So 2 different groups. that are supposed to work hand in hand going along from each room at the same time. I think the very difficult part to doing it that way, and it'll show itself in the schedule, is it's gonna look really goofy when we schedule it because they have a lift outside in the exterior portion, so they're not gonna go a whole floor like they have in years past. They're gonna go through a section. So much like when we do the air conditioning maintenance, we try to group it to that stack of apartments. As an example, 1308, 2308, 3308, and 4308. It'll be more of a stack than it will be a whole floor. So that gets a little confusing. You have to read the memo clearly once it comes out. But we're targeting that second week of June for that. So there'll be more to come, but a little later than I'd like this year. But I'm encouraged this is a good group that did a nice job and well, less issues than we've had in the past. Any other questions?
Heating ducts.
Heating ducts. What question on
I
heating
know, it
ducts?
says, could heating ducts be cleaned?
Oh, did I miss one? Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. I did miss that, I wrote too many notes. Could heating ducts be cleaned out in our independent living apartments? So I've had a couple requests for that over the years. To be perfectly honest with you, I've taken pictures in those ducts to prove the point to some folks that are concerned that the ducts are dirty. Our ducts are really not dirty here. You gotta understand that between North Point Terrace, well, Lake Terrace is very new, but North Point Terrace and Historic Terrace, they're in really good condition. Everything was brand new when they built it 20 years ago because they had to change so much, especially in historic. I'm happy to come and take a case-by-case look, but I honest to goodness don't feel that there's really a need for it. You have to remember the return air ducts, what you see sometimes, you're seeing that return air vent. Oftentimes that's gonna get a little bit of dust on it because it's sucking all the air back in the apartment. That ductwork to the furnace, that might have some dirt in it. But there's a filter that catches any particulates that are passing through. We use MERV 10 filters, so it's a quality filter that's gonna catch any contaminants in the air. From the unit to the supply vent is honest to goodness clean as a whistle. You can see yourself in the sheet metal most times. But if you have a concern, it doesn't mean I won't look at it. I just don't think it's a wide scale issue. But if you got a concern, I'll come take a look. It's as simple as undrilling one of your supply vents. We can take a look. I can look at the return side. If we find a concern, we want to deal with it. Anything else? Oh, a couple more hands. Sandra.
What's up with the water in the basement?
The water in the basement, what a frustration for everybody. So you're aware of where we're up to now, the pumps are replaced. In April here, we were due to have the pit cleaned. We used Gideon Hawkins to come out. They bring a smaller pump truck, the same one they use out back. It's too big, but this one's smaller to run up the ramp. I'm trying to get that done. It was supposed to have been done last week, Friday. They brought the wrong truck, so we had to cancel them. They're supposed to come out in the near future, so I'll call them to figure out where they're at. But the goal of having them out here is to pump out that pit. We somehow or another get some grease in there that we're sorting out that should be caught in the grease trappers, which is what they pump every 4 months in the back of the kitchen. Sometimes we smell a little bit, which is unfortunate. But we're dealing with it, I guess, is the best way. We've done just about everything you can do. All new pumps, all new pipes, all new floats. But something else is complicating it. And last time they were out, we're still finding some wipes that are getting in there, but we did find a larger amount of grease, which is why the entire pit pressure washed out and everything gets vacked out on their trucks so that it doesn't just sit at the bottom of the pit to see if that slows problems down. It would seem to be just fine for a while, and then every once in a while it seems to creep its ugly head up. So we're still working on it. Hope to have a better answer by next day at Castles that it's under control and we've got a consistent period where it's not backing up down there. Next question.
We still got this ceiling problem on our deck, but stuff's coming down. Is that gonna be taken care of, or do we need to put in another order?
Mr. Booth's talking about a specific leak that's off of a deck, a balcony deck over in Bradford Terrace. I can come back and take a look at it this afternoon. That one, I thought I caught it the last time, but I guess I missed something.
You've seen the problem.
Yeah, I took care of it firsthand there for you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes.
What's new with my new patio screen door?
I can follow up with you afterwards. Basically, your door is not here because it's the wrong size. So I spoke with Michael about it like we talked, but there's 2 different size screen doors. So they're gonna order you a new one.
How long will that take?
It's too long. A couple weeks to get that out here. But again, they fixed the one you had that was fixed right. It's just ordering a new one for you like you requested. Any other questions? Yes.
Am I ever going to get screens or my windows in the living room?
Sure. Yep. And any of those other ones are mostly work orders, but yes, I'll come out and take a look at that for you. I'll talk to Michael about following up on that. Any other questions? All right, you're up, Evan.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you are on the green team, can you raise your hand or stand up? Green team. I want to thank the green team for all that you guys have done this week. From the trash pickup Monday to our presentation from the water keepers yesterday. Even if you participated, wonderful job. The fun doesn't stop. Tomorrow we're going to go see the UWM Freshwater Sciences for an outing, and there's still some spaces. So if you haven't seen it, I know we've seen it in the past, but if you haven't seen it, it's an awesome trip. So still some spaces to sign up for, so we'd love to see you. But green team, awesome job, guys, as always. And then just want to talk about some things next week before we move to May. So Monday, I'm going to be giving our wellness series talk on Bradford Terrace and community life. So please come out. That's Monday at 2. Wednesday, our neighbors from the Catholic home will be here for chair volleyball. Ooh. Yeah. So bring your A game, guys. I know we had practicing. Some of our residents were out at 7 o'clock this morning running laps to get ready. So we're getting ready. And then Thursday, is Tim Kale here? No? So Thursday will be our first, since I've been here, we might have done this in the past, but our variety show, resident variety show. So I believe we have 8 acts. So come support your neighbors. Yeah. And then moving on to May. May calendars are out. Did everyone get a May calendar or see a calendar? Wonderful. And I just want to touch base on some wellness things. So going back to our wonderful committees, our wellness committees, or committee, I should say, has done a ton of work in May. So I have to pull up my list here because it's so much. But Kathy Johnson, our next great courses will be on, and there's 2 words here back to back. So epigenics, which is basically the study of how your surroundings affect you. So that will be starting in May, along with Dr. Silver, who is an epidemiologist. So he will be here for a 2-part series as another part of our wellness series. And then Tim Grove will be here about trauma-informed care. And then on May 21st, Evan Baumgartner, or Little Evan, as some of you may know, will be giving a Trips and Falls presentation, followed by Dr. Pierre will be returning to do his Our Amazing Brains presentation, which is well received. And I know we played it, I think, on repeat a few months ago, or maybe last fall, but you'll get to see him in person. So with that, I will take any questions. All right, I'll pass it on to Majarka.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just to kind of follow up with Green Week, it's my little monthly PSA of green containers. So if we can return them quickly as possible to the return station, that would be great. And then also, if we can remind our friends and neighbors that they are reusable. Unfortunately, when the dumpster was picked up the other day, there was 4 or 5 of them on the ground out there that I then went up and picked up. So they're not garbage, they're reusable. Put them in the return station so we can recycle and reuse them. Tuesday mornings from 8:30 to 10, we are doing the espresso machine down in the bistro. So if you want to stop down and try out a coffee drink, come down Tuesday morning during that time. And then come fall, we'll have a little bit more expanded hours for that. Next is next week, Thursday at 2:30, Tim, Tanya, and I are going to host our town hall again for food and beverage. So we can just get some resident input. We can talk to you about new upcoming things and kind of like what the upcoming holidays are going to look like. And then the last thing I have is in May, the 12th, 13th, and 14th, we will have our last 1884 pop-up days before we open the 1884 up on a regular basis for that kind of quick grab-and-go type dinner style. That's all the updates I have. Any questions for myself? All right, Anna, you're up.
Thank you, Majarka. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing today? We're looking a little sleepy. We better wrap this up quickly here. I just wanted to get up to provide you a quick update in the sales and marketing world. So I would say nearly 50% of this room, which is incredible, has been helping us out recently with our Parade of Homes series. So, yes, kudos to you all. One of the great problems that you have when you remain consistently full from an occupancy perspective is we have to ask you to show your homes, sometimes on repeat. So in order to help curb some of that a little bit, that's where we decided to do a Parade of Homes series where we're grouping some of your homes together to show them at these events to get more people through all at once so that we don't have to kind of bother you individually. So we had one of them a couple weeks ago. Our next one will be next week, April 29th. From 10 to 12, where we will feature some of our one-bedroom homes here at the community. And then our last one will be on May 7th, where we'll feature a number of our two-bedroom residences again. So thank you to all of you who have helped us with that. The other piece is many of you have come to those events to share your experience, which is just invaluable to our prospective residents who are coming to check out East Castle Place. So can't thank you all enough for your support there. And you may have noticed as we're having these events just the increase in volume. So I mean, the silver wave, as some have coined it, that's a real thing, where we are feeling the effects of that in our department, and there's just great, incredible interest in our community because we've got such a wonderful thing going here. So I feel very fortunate to be here and to have worked with many of you and all those considering East Castle Place, and you all are still a huge part of that. So, and then also, as we've welcomed a few new residents here, and you'll see more in the coming months, we will be due for an update in our printed resident photo directory. So again, looking to do that a little bit on an as-needed basis, but 1 to 2 times a year, where you will see more of a mass update, and we'll reprint those pages where we have new residents who have joined us with their pictures, names, and apartment numbers in that photo directory. So stay tuned for that sometime this summer. Are there any questions for me? All right, with that, I will bring up Lindsay again.
Thank you, Anna. All right. So I know I don't have any questions, so I hope you all have some questions, but I have a few updates. So first, I just want to earmark your calendars as we will be doing another resident satisfaction survey in July of this year. So how many of you have participated in a resident satisfaction survey in the past? A decent amount. The last time we did one was 3 years ago. So we are due. Usually we're on an every other year cadence, and I believe we got off that cadence just given the construction, and so this year we are due. Usually they fall in the fall, but we are going to do a summer sizzle or summer splash this year, really make it a fun July event. So thinking it'll be after the week of the 4th of July, or I'm sorry, following the week of the 4th of July, the 11th to the 23rd, kind of that 2-week period. So more to come there, but our goal with a resident satisfaction survey, obviously, is to be 100%. Just kidding. But we always need that feedback, most importantly, but we want 100% participation. So you and all of your neighbors will have some fun challenges and competitions between floors and have a nice party and so on. I'm thinking at the end, so we'll come up with some fun, good, percolating ideas to really make it a good time this July, something to look forward to. And cannot wait to get that feedback back. So we'll probably do some events, some Q&As leading up to that, as that will be here before we know it, July, because May's next week. Absolutely. And then just one other thing I want to earmark on your calendars that is something new is on May 18th from 3 to 4, right in this room, we are going to be doing an East Castle Financial Q&A session. So I'm going to be hosting that, And this is just out of, questions that I've received lately from many of you that are about East Castle finances, entrance fees, how we are doing financially as a mid-year review, where oftentimes we wait until the budget meeting, so this can kind of, in anticipation of that budget meeting that will be still coming this year in August, this will be in anticipation of that, and you can come with any questions or ideas, because it seems to be a large interest. And I'll also have Brad Sitzberger here as well to answer any questions we might have. So that will be May 18th, before our next State of the Castle, if you'd like to stop by for that. Or if you don't have interest in numbers, carry on. So, all right. Who has the first question then for me? We're all on it. We saved them all for Eric. Yeah.
Maybe it's because I have a Guatemalan grandson that I'm really keyed in on this, but does East Castle Place have a policy if ICE were to come to our door?
Sure. So the question was, does East Castle Place have a policy if ICE were to come to our door? And we do. Yes, being a private institution, obviously, we don't just let anybody into our community. And then working with our partners, specifically LCS, as a management company, they have given us an entire playbook about, general things around solicitation, if there's questions or answers or staff that are concerned, or more or less our employees, if they wouldn't necessarily come to our door, but many family members that may be questioned or concerned or have anxieties, and how we can assist with them from an employee assistance program as well. So we do have that available for our staff and the community. Who else has questions? Yeah, Judy.
Would you tell them they can't come in, or would you do if they showed up at the door?
I mean, that would, let's hope that doesn't happen, that we have to have that interaction, but ultimately, that would be the response, that it wouldn't be per se, come on in. They need to obviously have a warrant, or if they are going through certain aspects, or, if they're visiting someone, etc.
Would it have to be a judicial warrant?
Technically, yes.
Would you repeat the question?
She asked, would it need to be a judicial warrant? And technically, yes. And that would be for any individual, obviously, coming in here too. No different than even when a comparison, obviously on a different scale, but like when the state comes in, they obviously have to issue their paperwork in order to review those files too for our employees, the medical records, and so on. So part of being in the business. Who has the next question?
Take the win-win.
Well, yeah, we'll go with that. But I do want to echo, if any of you who are in pink, or if you're wearing another lovely color like green or blue, we have other departments you could participate in, right following this meeting at 2 o'clock, so in about 15 minutes, we are going to be taking a group photo, and we would love your participation. As many of you have participated in Spirit Week this week, which is wonderful. I love to see it. The staff love to see it, and we're actually going to do it in the courtyard. Jen gave me the arrow, so not at the front desk. So in about 15 minutes, or if you want to hang tight here, we'd love to see you for our group picture. All right? All right, then we'll let you get back to your day. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.